Now, a question for especially individuals who are building their own company.
Many times I was staring at my bank balance that, oh gosh, what do I do? I have no money to pay. Forget about myself. I have no money to pay to my team.
How do they scale up themselves?
We are not a tech company. We are tech enterprise. We are rolling our sleeves and to execute and deliver.
And I personally see myself also with so much of challenges scaling up. So,
I have maintained two pieces of strategy, which is information and trust. So share as much information and become trustworthy partner.
Anant, thanks today for joining us at our fresh episode. Really excited. Firstly, tell us how you're feeling today.
Thank you for having me. I'm pretty good. New fresh day, new things to do, new challenges to do. So pretty much looking forward.
And would like to, love to have this episode as really valuable for our audiences. So probably might ask you some wacky questions or things across your experiences. Probably let's start somewhere about your journeys. Tell us some highlights. How did have you started off Skillmine? Your journey? What have you done? Things like that.
Okay. I try to make it as interesting as possible. Hopefully not to bore the audience listening and watching this podcast. My journey has been very, very wholesome, I would say. I have always been a serious risk taker from a career point of view. Whenever some role came in and it was kind of an impactful role, although I didn't had the subject matter expertise around those roles, but I took it with a bit of gut and did a lot of learning, did a lot of hard work, did a lot of toiling to live up to the expectations of that role. And that's how I built my career. First 20 years of my career, I was actually doing job. God had been kind that I was doing some phenomenal roles. I was the delivery director for Capgemini in Asia Pac. Before that, I was the kind of the delivery in charge for a very large financial institution in Singapore. Then I got to delivery director and I was running the entire Capgemini businesses in Malaysia. And I had no idea what does it mean. But that was one. Came back to India. I was one of the earliest, most leadership roles with the British retailer Tesco in Bangalore. Then I moved to Morgan Stanley Capital, MSCI, as their head of business and global technology services head. Well, technology was known, but I had no idea about the capital markets business. And then when I was supposed to be relocating back again, which I never wanted to, I had always this itch to start something and work for myself. Started a Skillmine, and again, I was never a cyber guy or a digital guy or how to run the business. See, the actual idea of a business is you have a customer and you have a service provider and you have a problem to solve. I know that particular aspect very well based on my very broad global international experiences with very large conglomerates. But in business, you do sales. But for me, I learned this from Adi Godrej, right? Sales is vanity. If you are able to deliver it with profits, then profit is sanity. But unless you get really paid for it, so cash is reality. And the whole idea of business is it's an infinite game. You can keep on growing your spiral from 1 million to 10 million to 100 million, from 10 people to 100 million, from 1,000 people, or from one city to 7 cities, from one customer to 100 customers. And I say this because getting success is okay, but keep on repeating your success and digesting your success requires quite a bit of effort and sustenance and grounded sheet approach. So those are the things which has been my learnings, and the risk is enormous with that particular thing. If you look at a Skillmine as a non-funded company.
And that is where I was coming to. Like, how did the idea originate? Working for so many years and having such risk appetite at a later stage of your career, it's so risky today, right? Especially at your time also. Today, still you have more opportunities.
Actually, I would say this, that doing business is never risky.
Okay.
As long as you know what's perfect. That is the key. Your subject matter expertise. You trying to venture into an unknown area in a business where you don't know, but you depend on people, is very risky for delivery. Whether you are delivering a goods or a services or a manufacturing, but if you do not have the subject matter experts, if you do not have the eye for detail, you will always have wide spaces and blind spots where you will depend on people. But if you know your core competency and that is what your business is, then you are the driving force for you. So if that is the case, then business is never risky because you know what you are getting. You know what it will take for you to deliver. And you can promise those things to your customers and better deliver that and get paid for.
So I was hearing a lot of years back, obviously, Steve Jobs talking about when you're starting up. I think at the end, when you are really going down on those days, people who are really passionate about that subject matter are going to sustain. And the other ones who have just started up for the sake of it are going to say, yes, I'm not going, I mean, I might not be able to survive. So is that what you're trying to also highlight?
That is going to be always true. It's like the ultimate truth for any particular business or even career also. I mean, if you look at the medical profession, what it was 20 years back and what it is now, there is so much advancement. There's so much technology changes. Very similarly, within the world of IT technology, from data centers to cloud, from digital transformations doing full stack development to what AI is doing now, or from your usual business operations to RBAs with the robotic process automations and things like that. So many things have changed. What I used to do as an IT engineer 30 years back in my career, nobody is doing that now. Nobody is doing that now. In fact, I have not been doing that for the last 10 years myself. But I still remember because nobody forgets how to ride a bicycle. But so the businesses will change, the environments will change, the technology will change, but you have to keep on adapting. You have to keep on learning. It's very important to unlearn and relearn. Some things you need to unlearn as well. The old practices are gone. So that is one aspect of things as the ultimate truth. But business is never risky if you know what you are doing, because you got to be, it's your confidence and your delivery gut which is going to prevail.
I'd love to go more deeper into services, product on these aspects. But before that, for the audience, if you could just tell us more about Skillmine, a few, what are your capabilities, what is the problem you're solving, something on those.
So from day one, whenever I started Skillmine, I've grown up and it is in my blood in terms of what problem am I trying to solve, right? Or what value I am trying to add. I am a Marwari guy. Before doing Skillmine, I was a corporate employee, and that particular thing always prevailed in all my jobs also. I have, by God's grace and my parents' blessings, I have been phenomenally successful in my jobs, in my careers as well, whereby I was the change catalyst in a lot of organizations which I worked for. And it's all about identifying problems, creating strategies to solve them. So while I was a corporate employee, it was still intrapreneurial first.
What is that?
So, entrepreneurs are people who business. That means you invest your money to solve a problem, to do a business deal. But entrepreneurs are, you are getting a fixed salary. But you continue to identify problems, you make business cases, you go to your board that why are we doing it this way, can we do it this way, or these are the blind spots of our business and these are the investments which I need, which will have an ROI over a period of 3 years, 4 years, to make the business more nimble, faster, better, cheaper, simpler, so that the efficiencies start to kick in. Whether you do it by doing the job internally within the company is intrapreneur. You are outside the job of a company, then you are an entrepreneur, but you are actually doing the same thing. It's just that you are putting your money as an entrepreneur. You are gaining commitment from your board to fund your idea. Is an entrepreneur. That's the key difference.
How about your services? Like what?
So, Skillmine from day one, that's what I was trying to allude to. From day one, my focus has been problem solving or creating value or landing initiatives on time with customer delight. While that is classic services mentality, but it's having a lot of challenging conversations with the customer. So whenever I talk to a CIO or a CISO or a CDO, or to understand what is their requirement or what is their initiate, I understand that. But then I always request that I would like to talk to your CFO or your board or your CEO because they are your customers. For me, let's say a bank whom I'm providing a service to, the CIO is for sure my customer, but I treat them as a stakeholder and our customers are his customers. So delivering to customer's customer is basically the Chura journey is the overall journey. If you are delivering somebody to organization and your contact point is the CIO in this case, but I would like to deliver to his chief marketing officer, his chief executive officer, his board, his business, his users, so that they get a much better IT operation. They get a much better business operations facilitated by technology. And if I am able to deliver that, and if he gets a thumbs up from his customer, I've succeeded. That's my measure of success.
Basically, you need to make the other person shine.
Yes.
So to do. That's all.
And whether it is a service or a product or a solution, it's ultimately software and hardware and cybersecurity all mixed into one when we try to create a solution. And that with that particular thinking process and mentality, from when I was 10 people company also, I used to say in my bitches that Skillmine is a tech enterprise. We are not a tech company. We are tech enterprise, and we have the mindset to solve problems. We have the ability and the psychology to attract and retain top talent. We are not about fancy toys or presentations, but we are rolling our sleeves and getting down below the table to execute and deliver. I have maintained two pieces of strategy, which is information and trust. So share as much information and become trustworthy partner. That's the only 2-point strategy which I've tried to always bring to the surface in a Skillmine. Be very, very transparent to the customer. If we have not delivered something, why we have not delivered, and if you have delivered something, what is the lesson learned and what we can do better next time. So with that as the things, Skillmine today is a 12 to 1400 people organization. We are across 5 cities in India. We are across 3 cities internationally. Banking, financial services, retail, manufacturing. We have these 3 very strong domains, and we have pretty much a 500 plus member capability when we talk about cloud and infrastructure services, or when we talk about cybersecurity services, or when we talk about digital transformation and AI, ML, all those things. 5 years back, Skillmine also forayed into creating our own products and solutions. More now they are aligned to the Make in India strategy of our great Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. And we have solid products which are getting adopted by Indian MBFCs and Indian manufacturing units to solve problems against which they would have paid a dollar value solution. So it's cheaper for them. It is Make in India. It is better for them. And because I am the OEM as well as the service provider, I'm able to continuously get feedback to keep on enhancing to India conditions. So we have services, we have products encompassed into solution. We had a solid AIML practice, and we are a small company still, only 1,200, 1,400 people, but as huge. It feels like Skillmine is our customers tell us that it feels like Skillmine is a 4,000-5,000 people organization because we have so much to offer.
Got it. So now a question for especially individuals who are building their own company. And that's the reason I wanted to know more about, and go deep dive here. In my observation, with my discussions also, so entrepreneurs who are, starting up, pretty much it's, I've seen the journey from like 0 to 10 in terms of employees, or even revenue size of, even if I talk about dollar value, doing 500K, it's very simple. Then the next journey probably is touching 1 million, which could be of employee of under 50 employee size. Then the third could be how do they do 50 million, or how do they touch 250 employees or 500 employees. Obviously, if you look at the growth trajectory, tell us your experience. Now you have scaled into 1,000 plus and you're doing services, products, or so many different things. Now what do my audience take away from this? Like, how do they scale up themselves? And I personally see myself also with so much of challenges scaling up. So please give us some insights.
Okay. It's very simple, and I try to always keep it simple. a lot of universities and research papers and management consulting companies do a lot of gyan on some of these things. But me coming from farming agriculture family, that to a business family a little bit, I try to keep it always very simple. You need to, for example, right? I mean, Skillmine always had the option to sell products of other companies, but I never wanted to. I said, I want to remain a reseller, like a reseller. So can I sell an Office 365 for Microsoft to and be a commission agent for Microsoft? I never wanted to do that because I don't look at myself or my organization as a reselling company, selling products of other people. I would rather sell my own products and my own solutions, which are indigenously built by me. I don't like to water other people's garden. I would like to water my own garden with every inch of or every bit of my time. So, but in terms of scaling up and things like that, right? I mean, there are 2, 3 things which I have done, which I can share. I don't know whether this is the right advice for the audience, but I kept it very simple that I can see, I can touch, I can feel, right? And if I want my customers to see and touch and feel, then they can feel, right? So it comes with a simple principle that wherever your customers are, try to be as much local as possible. So that is called geographic expansion. When we started, Skillmine was only in Bangalore. Then we created Mumbai. When we started to get a lot of business in Delhi, we opened up in Delhi, we opened in Hyderabad, we opened in Chennai. And that's where I am opening 2 offices very soon in Gift City in Gujarat and in Bhubaneswar, because we are getting a lot of business inquiries from there. So it happens very naturally, progressive. 2 years back, I had opened an office in Pune, which we closed down because we were getting a lot of inquiries. We did some projects, but then it did not scale up. So it's not.
But why are you not doing it virtually? Like, I mean, with this current age, just a question I think the audience will also ask, ki, ab to kaam you can do from anywhere. So why do you need it?
See, I put it in a different way. You need to rub your shoulders with your customer. You need to rub shoulders with your customer's customer. You do business globally, but I'm not asking you to be local for every customer, but why can't you do a cluster mode of things? So if I am in Bangalore, I can do a lot of, I mean, I have so many customers in Bangalore, so Bangalore makes sense. I have so many customers. But for example, I have customers in Punjab, I have customers in UP. For that, I have a Delhi office. So it's like a 6 hours train journey or a 1 hour flight. And the customers in Lucknow know that, okay, there is an office in Noida. And Noida is like Delhi and Gurgaon all together. So that is for me being called local. So if the guy is not 30 minutes away, the guy is 2 hours away, right? So as you are starting to expand your business, right, don't try to be everything virtual. Try to be somewhat local, if not fully local, right? You need to touch your customers. You need to shake hands with them. You need to have coffees with them. You need to laugh with them. You need to have lunches with them. You need to meet not just your CIO, but you need to meet the CIO's team and the business operations team and all that. If you are not able to, if you don't have a physical presence of an office or anything like that, travel, right? Make yourself feel as a part of that. But so that is part of your scaling up in terms of look at your geographical expansion. The second thing is very important is now comes the vertical expansion. So try to do, I am not a restaurant which is only serving Chinese food. I'm not a restaurant which is only serving North Indian cuisine. You come to my restaurant, you want to eat noodles with yogurt, I will serve it because I am a very good chef. See, that is what I'm trying to tell. Yeah. That chef, being a very good chef is my baseline. Whether you want cloud. Now, there is nothing called cloud. The technology is virtualization. Whether you are on your own data center or you are on a rented data center. AWS is nothing but a rented data center in Pune. It is available to you over an internet connection with ready-made tools. You are still using a physical server in somebody else's data set. Absolutely. It's not like something in the cloud, right? Or you are using any software as a service, let's say a Salesforce or a ServiceNow or an Office 365. It is a physical piece of email exchange server running in AWS and Amazon and Microsoft Azure, right? So I have run those in my previous past in my own jobs, and now there are technology companies which are providing those as a ready-made service, but it does not change anything, right? It's just that your delivery model or your access mechanisms have changed, but ultimately the core solutions remains the same, right? So the vertical part of it is in terms of where is the industry moving, and you need to be quick adapting to those changes. So gone are the days whereby you can create a strategy and measure it over a period of 6 to 9 months. You need to measure your strategy every 2 3 months. Very agile, because be very, very agile in your strategy itself, because technology is changing very fast. Businesses are changing very fast. Competition is actually changing very fast. People's aspirations are changing very fast. So you need to be double fast.
But do you think the scaling today is easier compared to earlier, or is it difficult today?
Now I think it is getting easier and easier to scale it. First of all, a lot of tech is available to do a lot of things which you required people to do. There are a lot of ready-made options available. Now, who makes presentations and spreadsheets and all that? It is just available on AI and things like that. Doing front-end development used to take so much time. Now with AI, you do the front-end development on any particular digital application in 10% of the time. So your delivery times have shrunk like anything. Very similarly, you have a lot of technology and tools available. Your customers are also adapting very fast. Yeah. So as long as you have the right metal, customers actually listen to you and they take you along with them. So goes back to my founding principles. Don't be a good engineer, be a very good engineer. Or don't be a good businessman, be a very good businessman.
Also, there's a saying where today, if you want to do $1 million or $100 billion business, this is the right time, because there are so many people who are distracted in today's generation that the lot of people who are very focused are so few. So the people who can do really great things are already a very narrow segment. What do you think about it?
I don't agree with that, Sunil, somehow. I worked with so many young people, and my daughter, who is hardly 18, 19, when I talk to her, I get so much challenge from her. Yeah. To say that, why are you thinking it in this way or why not this way? So the younger lot is very, very smart. But you think they're hardworking? That is one thing. I have seen people where I was a young guy, 15, 18 years. I didn't had a lot of information what is happening in the world. The internet has made that possible. I probably had only 3, 4 career options, that these are the things which I could do. Now younger generation has 200 career options. So they are much more informed. They are much more aware of what is out there. The question about hardworking and the so-called entitlement generation and things like that is one aspect of it. But what I have seen is that if a young lad or a young girl finds the groove that this is what it is, I have seen them working non-stop, seen them working so much fashion which they bring, which was double the ounce of what I could have brought. So finding the nip of what they are really liking for, and this is what they want to do, this is what they love, then there's no stopping to that. I've seen them and I've seen such things in my kids, and we have gone through the process of trying to do something for 6 months and okay, I go like this and then this one and I go to. So fail-safe mechanism of trying 2, 3 times, and then it failed actually not because of the idea was bad or the road was bad or the proposition was bad, but it was actually that it was not up to their taste.
No. But in your time, I think, let's say, you might be very focused on the opportunities you might be having, right?
My time was majburi ka sauda. If you really look at, there were only 3, 4 options to do.
Exactly.
So whatever was the A, B, C, D, we just said A, B, C, D. I had either a worst case there was a B, but that also B was kind of.
We have to check it book.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. So that is one thing which I say this to everybody, that you will never make an ultimate right decision. Right? All your decisions at some point of time will feel that it is a bad decision. or it's a faulty decision. But you need to gather yourself and be calm and composed to prove that that decision is right. I was very, very depressed in the third year of Skillmine. Oh, I said that I'm not sure what the hell I've done to myself. Why? What happened? I am doing a business. My customers are asking me why you and why not an Infosys or an HCL. You talk in the same language. Thanks to some of my previous experiences, but you cannot deploy a team in 2 weeks, but you will take minimum 1 month or 2 months to do because I had the qualitative aspect of it. And you are a very small guy. You are not funded. What if you fail at my project, gets into a time wastage exercise? I had no overdraft facilities. I was a non-funded company. Yeah. So I had to pay from my pocket and then deliver and get sign off and then get paid. So many times I was staring at my bank balance that, oh gosh, what do I do? I have no money to pay to, forget about myself. I have no money to pay to my teeth. And how do I love? How did you survive? I begged, borrowed, stole from so many people. I returned all of that. But that experience might have made you so stronger that yeah. ये देख लिया अब तो. One thing which I did was I took a lot of self emotion. I would say that I put my house at in an overdraft at first. I said that this is something. When you invest your own dear money, you actually get out of the bed. It hurts. And if you get out of the bed, then you smell the coffee and you hit the road and you deliver. So because you know that now it's all in and you need to win this game. So that is one thing. So and that is the nervous energy which it brings into you that I better get to deliver. I am now on the final of my World Cup ICC and I am chasing a target and I have slayed 40 overs. I have only 10 overs to do, that kind of a thing. So that helped. And the customers also see your sincerity. I must tell this to everyone that it is not always a skin and a bone game. I mean, there is a lot of cushion when you talk with earnestly to your customers, when you are telling them how you are doing, and you mix and show your emotions about how do you go about it to your customers. The customers also engage with you. They also need a partner who puts his life and blood and a soul into their deliveries, and customers appreciate that. Skillmine hasn't lost a customer till date whereby our contract has been terminated. Yes, we have finished projects, we have finished assignments amicably in a graceful period, and that somebody else has taken up other projects. We do have few dormant customers whom we have worked with them, but we haven't been killed out. That's you guys are idiots and you can go, oh, till date. In fact, that has happened to me in my career as well, because no matter what, even if I make a loss, I will always do it.
Tell us few more things about how the industry is shaping. I've been reading a lot on the movement on SaaS industries. So what is your thought there? Where have you?
It's very interesting, actually. See, previously, let's say 10, 20 years back, people used to develop softwares. Ultimately, any solution is a combination of a piece of code or a software, which is sitting on a piece of tin, which is a hardware, which is processing. And there are cables and networking, which is flowing through. So that is the solution, right? It's a hardware and software. And yes, a mix of that is your security elements, because nowadays security has become very, very important. Having said that, so it was a dedicated pieces of software, then became cloud, and then became the softwares actually became more and more virtual. And that's where SaaS came into play, software as a service, right? Now, if you look at the softwares are getting so standardized and so flexible. So we are actually, it is not that the industry is moving towards that. We are already in the times whereby now we are actually talking about service as a software, right? You talk about some key services. That services is delivered completely by a piece of software. And then,
can you give an example?
Right. So take an example about payments.
Okay.
So I am a retail company and I need to pay 100,000 invoices every day. So previous days, somebody will take the invoice, he will put it into the system, it will actually look at what those invoices are, validated with the goods receipt number, and validated. So he will make a payment file and somebody will pay. Now, There are standard formats. Even if you send an invoice electronically, my software will read that invoice. So there is ICR, OCR technology to read an invoice, convert the invoice into data, upload that into the system, verify your agentic AI frameworks and all that can create a payment file. It can go to post to the Mac. It can get paid. It can generate a payment advice, send it to the supplier, update your ERP on that. So no person required. That piece of software can be configured in one way for a particular organization. It can be configured in another way by another organization. And I say, you will have a very levity as less than 2 people to 5 people to maximum 10 people, even if you're doing $1 billion transaction per week, to manify exceptions. Some things are really not working because of either a very, very different use case or something which is an exception, or there is a data integrity issue or so. So there will always be few exceptions. There's no perfect world. So you can have a very lean team who can do manage by exception. That is just one example of payments. I have been working with some oil refineries and they have a complete automation now by software to test the quality of crude, adjust the burning fuels mixing to actually push it into the pipeline, vibrate the pipeline to actually refine and put it, which used to be a 100 to 100 people job in one refinery is now hardly 1 or 2 persons. Or if you look at the Scala and the SCADA technologies, the entire Delhi government has now 4-6 plants which actually does waste management. It is completely on Scala and SCADA technologies, whereby the waste comes, gets grinded, gets converted into electricity, gets converted into mud, and then into recycled into getting into roads laid on that. So hardly 4 people, 5 people team. So the software is actually they're doing the job by 3-4 mechanisms. It's actually able to move things physically using robotics as a technology. It is able to reason and take decisions based on the qualitative and conditional parameters. And it is able to do all kinds of RPA based processing into multiple systems. So we're actually living in the world of service as a software. The amount of people doing a particular specific service will keep on getting reduced and reduced and reduced.
Got it.
Because the softwares are self-healing, self-intelligent and things like that. And
Do you think, like, so SaaS companies, like, I've been reading reports about HubSpots to, G2s, their revenue has been pretty much went down year. No, even Zoom Info. These are purely SaaS companies. What is the reason? Why is that?
I wouldn't be able to put a specific reason for specific examples, but in case of Zoom Info, primarily data information seller.
Yeah.
A data is information seller is available so much. What Zoom Info was doing was it was selling static data, numbers of customers and email addresses of customers.
Yeah.
That is not enough. What people need is intent data.
Yeah.
What that customer is looking to buy, right? You see, the expectations change with environmental changes, right? And within an intent data of what that customer is looking to buy, what kind of their existing setup is there. So what is that which will set? People's aspirations have changed, that I want to hit the bullseye in my first call or in my first email or in my first conversation, right? So I need information.
Yeah.
What is the background? What is this guy looking for? What this guy is type? And what kind of things we appeal to him and all that.
Yeah.
So I go well armored, fully loaded with missiles and everything.
So there's in my demos and sales call, when we are pitching for prospector, a lot of our prospects are talking about, can I get my competition's customers' data? We are working at that level. Or companies who are at a very high intent, like, hiring for a certain role, or, leaders who have just recently joined. So these are different intents where the actual playground is happening.
It is a little bit touchy on the wrong side when a customer is asking somebody, a third party, for their competition's customer data. See, that is wrong. This is right. You can get your competition's insights is the right language, because I want to know what are the insights of my competition, to learn from them what they are doing better and I can adapt to it. But trying to get it to customer data information is no zone for me. But having said that, yes, so as service provider, right? My customers, I do 6 monthly sessions with my customers in terms of this is what I am doing for my customers, my other customers. These are some of the bags, what they are thinking about, or these are some of the opportunities which I am working about in some of my other customers, which you are not doing. Would you like to adopt? So we do that knowledge sharing session in terms of what we hear from other customers and all that proactively. In my sales calls, the customers also ask me that, who are your other customers? What are they doing differently? And are they doing it in this way or that way? So that particular knowledge sharing, imparting and bringing the general knowledge and insights is absolutely fine. But we drive very hard on the impact of it or the benefit case of it. And very important is the quick wins around it, because now the attention time span is shrinking like everything.
It's a race time, I would say. No, not more than 10 seconds. You're getting so crazy. Now, as you have scaled to at this level of 1,000+ teams, tell me your experience, Anant, on finding the right person. The most difficult thing to do, personally, and more very hectic, stressful if your call goes wrong. You must have gone through so many experiences. सही मंदा लिया or it worked, did work. Tell us some interesting story. Give us some
Very interesting story. Somehow I get a little superstition on this topic.
Okay.
So the barista on first floor of Leela in Bangalore is a lucky spot for Lavar Latte Cafe in Lokhandwala is a lucky spot for, or Radisson Blues Cafe in Airport Road is a lucky spot for, or I have Cafe Coffee Day near Red Chilies in Santa Cruz. That is a lucky spot for me, because some of the people who I met for the first time, they turn out to be great leaders within a skill mine. But keeping the jokes or the superstitious and things apart, I personally, for me, I have never kind of felt overwhelmed by that I need to find the right person. There is no right person ever. And the right person is that person who is always willing to actually adapt to the challenges which will come today and which are happening today and tomorrow, who is not a yes man to you, but who is always challenging you and questioning you. Somebody who likes to take decisions and who fights with you, that let him decide. So it's all in the attitude. I always hire for the right attitude. I never look for people who are supplementing me, but who are complementing me. And yes, I do a little bit of sense check on the subject matter side, but then I pay a very good attention on if they have good examples to share on how they adopt and how they learn to do things. And in fact, my director team, I also look at one very key element, that is this guy a morning person. Somebody, yeah, my director, I have 8 directors team.
So do you ask this question, are you a money person?
No, I don't ask that question, but I generally ask them, what is life in a day for you? What time you wake up and what do you really do when you wake up, right? So somebody will say, I wake up and I hit running. Somebody will say that I wake up and I do 1 hour of meditation and then I go and did my job. But that morning person is very important. That is very one close indicator that the gentleman or the lady wakes up early in the morning and does whatever she does. And then somebody who wakes up in the morning, and for my morning, for me is not a 7 or a 8 a.m., something like a 5 or 6 a.m. I am a 4 a.m. guy, but somebody who can do a 5 or a 6 a.m., who wakes up at 5 or 6 a.m., then that person will always be very constructive and organized in his life. He is focused on his goals. He likes to do things whereby he feels that he is driving and all that. So that is what.
So do you put it into a discipline? Like then
It is the discipline. Attitude, discipline. Discipline is about learn, do, repeat, right? And make mistakes, learn, do well, learn, and then repeat. So it's about discipline. And it's not just about discipline of learn and do. It's all about when you are not doing, then you play and repeat, right? Also, so they are happy people with their families, I mean, their friends and all that. One of my directors is actually making her daughter a judo champion, and he plays judo with her. Another guy is doing something with some translation of our Vedas. Another guy actually he is a director, but he is writing his own AIML code with something to try to build something on his own. And mainly once he builds, then he may quit it as being an entrepreneur. But I support it, right? So some of these things I find in a lot of people. And I also look at that during the time of crisis. It's not that, I mean, I sleep at 10, 11 every day, but during moments of crisis, there's nothing wrong in doing 1 or 2 nights out. It's absolutely fine to miss 1 or 2 lunches. Hardly any problem. You can eat junk food in a while and all that. Lay your hair down. I mean, be happy, party, work hard, party harder. Somebody who respects his colleagues. So attitude is very important. Discipline is very important, but ability to work hard. And when the work is not harder, then learn hard.
But everyone's work smarter today.
That is by default.
Yeah.
If you are not
But
working,
you would work hard, work smart. So we had this conversation.
no, work hard and then work is smart. You cannot be work is smart and be lazy, right? Yeah, today in the world of AI tool, I can type a command and get my leave application done or get my private ticket booked, and all that is fine. But where is your core work? So if you are writing a customer report or if you are doing an architecture design, right, work hard at it. Look at what it can be better than yesterday, right? You have to continuously improve. And I am very, very direct feedback between two eyes to people. The moment I see that they are not applying themselves. Yesterday, you scored a century in 50 balls, and you again scored a century in 55 balls. How come today your century is taking 200 balls? Well, it's a practice. So you can always take practice. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, I have seen very good proposals coming out of the gentleman, but one day he is not. I said, why? He said, I had only 24 hours. I said, why didn't you ask for 48 hours? So buy the time, but do the quality work, discipline around it, and work hard around it. And communicate. That is very, very key. So,
but at the same time, you might also see some decisions being not right on hiring. So if you just tell us and for the audience, what afterwards, what did you think? What was that you made happen, which was a wrong decision? And how you could have corrected it? Was it time bound, being just hurry?
I actually never regretted taking a wrong decision in hiring. First of all, I don't want to be overworking myself that every hiring decision would be that. I don't know if my audience, there are people who are trying to get every hiring decision right all the time. They will never get it. Let's move away from this. You have to accept that you are a human being.
But how do I reduce my
risk? It's not about reducing. If you hire a wrong guy, you work harder with his to make him the right guy.
Oh, you don't tell it, it's not good.
We tell him that it is not working, but it is not working for both of us. It's not about I am the boss and it is not working for me. That's the attitude which will destroy your organization. If it is not working, it is not working for Skillmine. Come, buddy, let's make it all right. And then work with him, help him, more help him, right? You never give your hand to a guy with two eyes to cross the road, but you always give your hand to a blind eye with so that guy needs help. Why is asking for help a sign of weakness? It is a sign of strength.
Yeah, I think that's a very good thought, especially at a brand level, because with so much of layoffs happening, there is much of ambiguity and people don't even know why they have been asked to move. So
I have had multiple people who have gone, who have been bad performers. Now, why they are bad performing? Either I put the wrong guy on the job, or the wrong guy on the job, or the guy is in the wrong job. Either the guy is wrong or the job is wrong. You will get that particular answer after some time. Keep the guy the right job. He will succeed there. As an organization, you should always be able to do that. If you are not able to give him a job, work with him, make him the right man, tell him how it works, develop him. He will be an asset to you. If he leaves, he will be an asset to somebody else. But the guy will be good man. Good. So you need to be a little dispassionate about this hiring right and all that. Sometimes it also gives you this vague feeling that maybe I have taken 30% of my hiring decisions wrong and I'm breeding mediocrity and things like that. But you need to put an effort to do that, even if if you have taken whatever the wrong decisions, you better correct your hiring process. Maybe you are not the ultimate authority to make decisions. Get a lot of people to interview. But one thing which I do differently, and this is something which I want to share to everyone, including all our audiences here. It's not about interviews will always be right. What is an interview? A 30-minute, 60-minute conversation. I make sure that out of that 1 hour conversation, I am giving interviews for 50. And I tell them, what is the company? I answer 5 things. What is a skill pie? What is the role? What is the expectations from the role? What are the challenges associated with the role? And what attributes it will require to succeed in this? I tell them these 5 things. And I tell them that I know only so much of you. But you know yourself for last 20 years, that years. If you succeed in this particular expectations, come and you. Because for me, it is very easy to fire. If you will not perform, I'll fire.
It's like handshake.
Let me be very, very upfront and honest to you that this is what I expect. So I'm obsessed about telling the voice.
Don't they get scared about?
Either scared,
It's better. It's better. पहले हो गया
बेटा मैंने तो अपने तरफ से clarity दिया ही सेट में,
and you wanted clarity.
and 8 out of 10 times people are so happy post that interview because they have clear understanding that this is what
What is expected?
Perfect. And one thing which I do is that the expectations will not change for the first 3 to 6 months. You cannot cheat the guy by giving him a wrong clarity and then he joins and the expectations have changed. No, that's totally utter cheat. So first 3 to 6, because a job will never remain the same forever. If I am in a role,
It's going to be done.
it's going to be dynamic. If the role is not dynamic, that means the organization either stay, is not growing. Let's be very hard way. PQRS, it will keep on moving, right? So sinusoidal waveforms. So first 3 to 6 months, minimum 3 months or maximum, max 3 months or 6 months. The thing will change. The guy, let him settle down, find his feet, get started to perform, deliver, believe in himself, and then let him slowly adapt to the changes of the organization. So I give that interview to give them the clarity, and I tell them to ask the questions. One thing which I also notice is if the guy whom I'm hiring, if he has no questions to ask,
That's a suicide.
then I tell them that you please go back and come back with your questions. I am not making a decision unless I get your question. I like you, but how come you don't have any questions? Many times,
Curiosity भी जरूरी है. वैसे तो
many times I get this key, boss, I have been giving you lectures for last 15-20 minutes and maybe I've given you complete clarity. But तेरा भी तो कुछ तो होगा, कुछ तो confusion होगा दिमाग में. So bring that confusion to the table. No?
Yeah.
Somebody not talking, not communicating, always in the listening mode is also not good enough, especially in the senior position. But I get really put off by a question, what are your working hours? That's like sad straight up.
These are HR questions, though. I told you.
There's no HR question. What do you mean by?
I mean, they can just speak to them if they are,
What do you mean? When I explained you everything, if you're asking a question, okay, your working hours are 10 a.m. to 5 a.m. Boss, there's no working hours for a senior guy. I mean, I'm not interviewing a junior engineer who was fine, was working in a particular shift in an operation mode, but at a senior director level, there is no working hours.
Yeah, it's a stupid question, yeah. Great. I think you're on the last side of my questions. So, Anant, tell us more about, what next for you. What is your next vision? Do you want to do things across and, where are you spending your personal time?
2-3 things. With age, I need to get more fitter. I envy so young population around me and I get inspired by my son Ashwin. He was 110 kgs 5 years back and now he is something in the range of 75-80 kgs. And he has lost it all naturally. So he's an inspiration to me in terms of the kind of physical discipline and grit he plays. And I wish I could get more fitter. So I am starting to find my extra 1 to 2 hours of time to get fitter. and I'm okay. I mean, I'm good. I can work good non-stop 12, 14 hours a week, but life is a slow-moving bus. You only realize that when the bus stops. So it's better to be more things, and that is something which I also, a lot of business leaders are aware, but how much they adapt to giving away something to pay attention to your health. Some of my teammates also keep on pestering me, and now they have taunting me that, sir, you आप बोलते तो हो लेकिन करते नहीं हो जो मेरे को
That's a stability in
right.
Okay.
We are a professional family. We are a professional family.
So health is one.
Health is one thing on the personal goal side of things. I'm also learning to do a bit of AI coding on agentic AI myself. I'm a doer most of the times also. So that is one thing. But on the professional side, for the last 5, 7 years, I am dreaming, and that is my life goal, that I want to have a world-beating product coming from a skill mind, which is make in India, made for the world, right? And that is my dream. If I achieve that dream, I can die peacefully. वो मेरे मरने का target है. वो मेरे को करना है. So that is one thing, and I am working very hard towards that. Always having very challenging conversations with my team and listening to customers, what problems they're trying to solve. And that is where our product business is moving towards. Having said that, I am working very hard with our leaders in the public sector space, likes of NIC, DIC, our PSUs, Navratna, and they are very, very large world-beating organization, and the kind of technology they are consuming and the kind of problems they are solving is humongous. So I'm trying to work with them to create some solutions whereby almost 30% of my time is going professionally. The another 30-40% of my time is going into working a lot on my people agenda of my organizations to look at the stimulating factors of this Gen Z team, what we can do differently. How is it more of a culture? I wouldn't say culture, but more about making the team realize that it is they who make a skill mine what it can be tomorrow, rather than in a skill mine who can bring an opportunity. Come on, our movers and shakers are inside, not outside, right? So that people to people network and connection to rub shoulders and do a lot of good work. Some of them are small, some of them are medium, some of them are larger. And a lot of that particular thing is starting to come out. The way our teams are doing deliveries. I would say that I can't remember on top of my head now that is there a single service in a skill mind which is in Apple already. And green is the new amber for us. So something is green. So we have 5 ratings: amber, red, amber, green, blue, and purple. Most of the people so they're not satisfied with green. If somebody is green for 3 months, they say it is boring. Why I'm not touching blue? And why I'm not touching purple? And so that is the kind of things what I can see a lot of things coming around. And many times customers also creating problems with the scope creep or not getting involved and all that. But we tend to now do that to work with our customers. So that is something which is attracting me towards working on the people agenda a lot, right? And some of the marketing and sales messages which are now coming up are not made by me. They are made by the teams. And it is mind-bogglingly surprising for me that the team is actually talking about this kind of value creation for our customers. So, people agenda, public sector business, and the product innovation. These are the 3 things. I am a salesperson. Honestly, trust me, for the last 15 days, apart from 2 or 3 calls which my teams wanted to attend, actually they are making me obsolete.
Oh.
And that is the best part of an organization.
They said, if we need you.
So, Diara, will like you to on a lead you. So, I am working on my own silent agenda. And I've got so much space to work on my silent agenda. So, we just launched a SkillZen, India's first AI/ML based course learning platform for post creations, learning path, engagement. It is based on all kinds of Mary first principles, pedagogy, methodology. Vishwa Kiran, our CPO, Vimal, who is our director, actually worked very hard on that, and then Anshika and Snigdha are now running that particular product. The combination of Ashwin and Sriraj have gone into the next level of our product around with Utsav and Vimal, whereby now we have embedded AI into all our products, and they are beating each and every competition products, and we are getting very, very good inquiry about that. I'm working on, like I mentioned, service as a software. I'm in the process of releasing AI Ops, our solution, which is a combination of automation, operations, observability, agentic AI to do a lot of banking and finance operations, which I've been doing with so many things to actually look at the tools part of it. So that's one thing which I am trying to try December, and I'm waiting for it to celebrate the new year with that. Vimal, hope you're listening for that. Uh, so
When are you expecting the big thing or the IPO stuff?
yeah. So was coming to that, and I have decided to remain non-funded, primarily because I am okay, and I am now finding the wherewithal to keep our cash flow regulated. And then in 2 to 3 years' time, we actually plan to get the IPO to create value creation for our shareholders as well, so that distribute the wealth to a lot of other people. But the money raised from IPO will go into much more product development or maybe some more inorganic growth of the company with few very exciting acquisitions and things like that, which we can do. We are here for good. We are not up for sale. We are up for growth. Come and join us if you have challenging things to do. We always have room for innovators and challengers and movers and shakers. We also have lot of room for fun and play, and the skill miners are all over the place. The skill mine got talent and so many things. Our annual awards are very, very competitive. It's called Yatra Pratibha Adragapna, which means you have progress through talent. So we bring a lot of our ancient ethos into skill mine. It's a good place which is coming up well. There are equally challenges with competitions and some of the things what we are not able to do. For example, we are continuously toiling about how much India and how much international. So we are now making foray into a serious foray into international. So we are appointing a lot of good companies as our reselling partner for our products. And the good part is some of these inquiries are coming from them rather than we reaching out. So they like our products and they say that we would like to do. So India companies are making a beeline to Israelis that we would like to sell your products. When the time will come where some of the other country resellers are actually coming to India, that can I be reselling for your product? At least we had starting to make a dent into that, which is a good exciting type for. I'm not counting on success yet, but we will see over the next 3 to 6 months. And we are now looking at how we can take this success story of what we are doing for our Indian customers and some of the international customers who have a lot of bases in India to actually set up customers. I'm working on Japan and Africa strategy. Maybe if my board and my directors support me, we'll possibly have an international strategy cemented in place by end of this financial year to make some investments into international. But I'm not very busy, but I am very occupied mentally working.
So much happening. How are you taking care of your course still with I this your family and things like that? Are they not complaining? Anand, ये क्या चल रहा है? Like,
Actually, no. So we love my better half. She is an immense force of support and strength for me. Very important also. Very, very important. Very, very important. And it's not just about being lucky to have a life partner like that, but it's also about you need to work very hard. Being a good human being is so difficult, but it is so easy and simple also, right? You need to be present at important moments. You cannot be present all the time, but those key moments. And she is the owner of the home. So I am living in my home like a hotel, basically. I go and I eat and I dress up and I sleep and I get out. So then she is the owner and I do as she wants me to be very honest and upfront. But having said that, there is so much happening in the world. I negotiate with my family very hard. I made them know what I am, what is my XY coordinates in my body, right? And in my mind. So they know what is my passion. They know what I am born for. They know what I am trying to do, and they support it. And I support them in their own things. So it's like two to tango. But the energy is all about. So one of the key thing is मैं सबको जोकिंगली बोलता हूँ, इट्स अ गुड थिंग दैट आई एम वेरी पैट्रियोटिक. सो मेरे को देशभक्ति का कीड़ा है और मेरे को एक आई वांट टू हैव एन इंडियन प्रोडक्ट मेड फॉर द वर्ल्ड. दैट इज माय पैशन. सो दैट इज एवरी डे आई वेक अप विद दैट एंड दैट गिव्स मी द एनर्जी. Another thing is I have so many people around me, very very good people. If somebody will keep on asking, somebody is waiting for something, and that something which they are waiting for is very good thing. I want to show you a particular thing which I developed, or I want to show you a slice thing about how this has come up, sir. I want to show you this because they know that I am now working most of the things around the innovation and the customer side. And they say that I have an important customer to take you along. So they are using my time very carefully and they are letting me to be me, what I want to do. So I think the power of being an entrepreneur is I don't have a boss, but I have so many customers and so many people. So working with them is so grateful and so profound and happy space. My life is as it is and it cannot be better than this is what it.
Amazing. My last question, and if you can just give us a very pointed thought. For our audience who want to be the next Anant Tanwar, what do you tell them? What do we want to do? How do we do it? How soon can we achieve it?
I don't know whether the audience wants to be an Padawat. I think there will be a lot of people in audience who want to be much, much more and better than another. Point number. Point number two is that it's all comes from self-belief. When I was starting on a skill buy, one guy told me, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? Right? So it's the hustle culture which actually matters within you the most. I can't be as calm and quiet outside, but I have so much hustle and turbulence inside me to get things done and to do things or to look at what my ambitions, which is going through the boiling point. You put your nervous energy, your total energy, your sexual energy, whatever energy you want to call it to work towards your passion. And that is very, very important. But if you are in a self-doubt, then don't do. But if you are in a self-belief, and these are the two questions which I want everybody to carry. If not you, then who? And if not now, then where? These are the two things that you think about a lot of fantastic hows to bring your who and your when into play.
Lovely. And how soon?
Yesterday. It has to be yesterday. So anybody who wants to be, and the support system is always there. I mean, at least in my life today, right?
There's always a question about capital. I don't have capital, so I'm not able to do.
That is a constraint. It is not an issue.
So there is a solution to that.
There is lots of solution to that. Go. Everybody who was born must be having a parent. Go and ask your dad. Dad, give me few lakhs rupees or something like that, right? Forget about the family holiday. Put that money into something, right? Go and get a job and do something. I saved 20 years of my savings to start my business. Come on. And I was itching to start my business for last 20 years. First 10 years I learned, but then I always wanted to start a business, no money. I saved money for 10 years. It does happen and it will happen only if you want to make it. Right. People go to foreign universities to get education degrees. They get an education loan. Come on. Don't our government of India has got a DPIT startup, a startup India and this India. Fine, everybody says, oh, not again with that government support and all that. Cool. There are so many entrepreneur channels these days. You have Shark Tanks with your ideas. And if you have a good idea, you seriously are very, very focused about that, you come to me. I will see what I can do to, if I can provide you some capital, good. If I cannot provide you, I can help you arrange a capital.
Amazing. That's a great thought.
यार करना है तो करो ना, बात करने से नहीं होता है.
Do reach out to us. Well, probably share that email and always connect to that. Thank you so much, Anant. I think I am very super motivated with our discussion. And I think all of our audiences has been having a lot of insightful, valuable, things from your side. And really, really grateful for coming down today here and, sharing. so much of your journey and experience with all of us.
Thank you, Sunil, for having me again. And thank you for listening to me. Remember, it's you who makes the difference. Believe in yourself and just keep working hard. But be a morning person, please.
Let's be a 1% person. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the podcast till the end. If you like the session or if you have any feedback, be it critical, positive, do drop a comment in the comment section for us. It really helps us to improve the quality, and we know that what is the content you would really love. Also, do share the content with any of your loved ones. They could, scale up their career, do wonders with a very small insight too. So looking forward to it, and stay tuned for our next session. Thank you.